Folks, Connecticut took bribes from Mark Zuckerberg's CTCL, and on this video I have his tax return. What's alarming here is that the Bridgeport chair of the Republican Party, it appears they took a $313,000 bribe, and he might not even know about it.
Observers, there's a very key reason why they
all the money.
They all work for this company.
Avon
CTCL paid
hacked one of the states.
That came from liberal activist group, whether it was OFA.
Yes, Avon hacked another state, and they got a bribe.
Whether it was Indivisible, whether it was
Antifa
and Philly, had guys down in Austin
other
that
states
had their own group set up. So
exactly what they did.
CTCL brings in liberal activists to work in these.
Liberal activists came in, took a bribe. The bribes went to Waterbury, New Haven, Hartford. Greenwich got $500,000. How did they spend it? I'll tell you. Satellite uplink.
Central count facilities, get them trained and set into
Meriden hacked.
And then they pay them $650 a day
really,
for
Montville.
Do you have any information on whether
New Britain,
Ruby Freeman,
New Milford,
her daughter,
New Britain, Aaron Stewart's town took a bribe. Here's the tax return.
Newtown,
tied to
Norwalk,
tied to this particular?
Norwalk got $51,000 from Mark Zuckerberg. They told no one. Where's the money, Norwalk? I went to every meeting back then. Oh, no, I was running against Blumenthal. They were slamming me. They wouldn't let me speak. Ben Proto won't let you speak. Ben Proto won't let you debate. Ben Proto gave me this list of the delegates after another list. I went to an event in Bridgeport. Listen to my words. I went to Waterbury. I went to Faith Lee event last Saturday. She was there. She says, I'm a delegate. I go, no, you're not. You're not on my list. She goes, yes, I am. And a girl pulls out her phone, and it shows Faith Lee as a delegate. Now, my list doesn't show Faith Lee as a delegate. Then again, the past president of CTRA, which is Ann Minuski, a friend of mine, says to me, Johnny, I'm a delegate. I go, no, you're not. Not on my list. So Ben Proto provided me with a list of different delegates after removing friends of mine. Now, what happened was Waterbury gave a list. It was in controversy. It was torn up. And the list that was sent to Washington, D.C. is different than the list that's sent to the candidates. Let me repeat that. The list that Connecticut sent to Washington, D.C. is different than the list they gave to the candidates. Here's my list. Okay? I don't know if you can see this. The telephone numbers deleted. Email addresses in this column deleted. Money to those towns never reported to the GOP. Or if they were told, how much money did Ben Proto get from CTCL, Mark Zuckerberg, and his
Norwalk? Or is that something that's beyond your scope of knowledge?
Let's go and I'll tell you where Norwalk
was her supervisor, and her supervisor was the recipient of CTCL money for their section. So
see how we're just pulling all this together, folks. This is awesome.
So you can look through all the separate funding and see where it all gets put, secure drop boxes, where they were putting them, how much.
It's in the lawsuit.
It's in the lawsuit.
If you look at where those secure drop boxes were put within Philadelphia, do you think they put them on the Republican side of town or the Democrat side of town?
Ganim stuffed them.
They only put them in the Democrat side of town. So they were controlling who had access to these mail-in ballot boxes.
Watch.
Order.
And that's where, if you look at Phil Klein's litigation,
this is from 2022.
They were doing that in multiple areas.
Motion.
And so CTCL is a key player in this. I very lovingly named this whole incident the business plot of 2020. That's why I asked when I was talking to you, David, about if you'd ever heard about the business plot of
Greenwich
1933, because this is an exact extension of what happened almost 100 years ago, where there's this corporate coup to overthrow the U.S. government. And that's really where it comes from. We've got...
mention the military guy's name. He's that well-known, decorated...
These are the clerks involved in the hack.
Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine Corps.
All these town clerks had their IP address hacked by the Attorney General, no less, because they're the only ones, the people in 165 Capitol Avenue are the only people that have access. Here we go. The Secretary of State and the Attorney General are working together to hack different states. Yeah, it's not conspiracy theory. Anyone who thinks it is an idiot.
Corps history, the only man alive to get 2 Medals of Honor. And he's the reason why the Marine Corps said, no, you can only have 1 for a lifetime, because...
Okay, these are the hacks.
Good. So Smedley Butler was asked
Norwalk,
by all
hacked,
these corporations...
North Carolina.
Norwalk, hacked, North Carolina. Fact, it's in the documents.
FDR, and put in a fascist government in 1932, and he...
That's why the Norwalk GOP is alienating me censorship through CISA. So the Norwalk RTC is connected to misinformation at CISecurity.org. Who's that? Look at the lawsuit. It's all in the lawsuit. Did anybody read it? No.
Back to the
to figure out who the very top of it was, and of course history hides it. Just like we used to have a department with the House of Representatives called the
Fairfield, Niantic,
Glastonbury, Greenwich,
right,
Hartford,
Smedley Butler went to
all these places.
was in charge of the business.
Hartford got $343,000.
Plot of 1933
are on this list.
There was a little known politician at the time.
Meriden, New Britain, New Milford, Newtown, Norwalk. $51,000 they paid.
I do know.
That's for the adjudication bucket, folks. They paid those workers $47 for every vote they switched. Those mother effers paid Mark Zuckerberg paid for every vote $47 that they flipped.
To hack North Carolina
somewhere.
So now
through the clerk's office,
where we see all
through the router
businesses that are involved, and that's key because
through the router, while they were telling the GOP, oh, it's not connected to the internet, they were getting bribed for the uplink to the satellite link to Seidel in Barcelona, Spain.
Yesterday, Sidney Powell put a rebuttal out
Orange
to Dominion's
hack.
lawsuit against
Let's go back.
And you know how we can tell Dominion's scared? They just
Orange, Connecticut hacked Stone County, Missouri.
Is one of Bill Gates' attorneys.
Orange got paid by Mark Zuckerberg to hack North Carolina.
Stone County, Missouri. How much did they pay for that?
These corporate attorneys,
it's right here.
Able to push these agendas on top of the.
My list matches their list.
So they put me in Whiting and tortured me. Isn't that awesome? And right now they're torturing someone else who can also prove election fraud. I'm not the only one. So if you know Gino DiGiovanni, he was sentenced by Boasberg, and they manipulated the votes in his race. And he's on State Central, and he's a straight-up guy. He's an awesome guy. I met him. I like him. He's fantastic.
for Joe
which is
Biden
amazing
to fight
that
all
the
of
news article
election fraud was
matches
Mark Elias from Perkins
what
County,
we're talking about.
which was the same guy who
Norwich is on the list.
GPS to go
Orange.
after Trump in the first place.
Orange hacked
Okay, so this is
Missouri.
also
How much did it cost? $5,000 to flip.
Orange hacked Missouri for $5,000. And they're going to go to jail forever for $5,000. At least Greenwich held out for $500,000.
The state of Missouri to flip Trump votes to Biden in this.
When you start talking
Here we go.
about,
South Windsor, Southington. Southington, ready?
Hired
20 grand. Ready?
Bill Gates.
Hold on.
20
This
grand.
was someone that
20 grand.
Linwood
Wait 1 second.
knew. As soon
Southington,
as she
20
could get
grand.
Bill
Here we
Gates'
go. Where's
money,
Southington?
She showed a real cover.
Colchester hacked.
Not only are
Oklahoma.
they going after
Naugatuck hacked.
going to the
Wisconsin.
Lawyers Club,
Danbury
they're going
hacked.
to all of these different
PA.
organizations.
Southington
judges
hacked.
to get.
Michigan.
And so
Southington
right now,
hacked
there's just a
Michigan.
brilliant-
Southington hacked Michigan for 20 grand. You can kiss my ass, folks. Maybe you should play the whole video. Maybe we should keep going.
Through
battle
CT.
played out between Linwood and his.
Southington, the home of the GOP and Ben Proto. Ben Proto is aware that Southington, okay, hacked Michigan, changed the votes so that Biden won. Need we go on? Maybe I should do this in 2 parts. Let's call it a day right here and share it.